April Fool's Day is a 1986 horror comedy mystery slasher movie which actually has a decent reputation among 1980s horror fans. This picture follows a group of 8 college students on a weekend vacation to an island off the coast of Maine. They plan to stay in an island mansion of one of their cousins, Muffy St. John, played by Deborah Foreman, a rich student at the private Vassar College in New York State. Throughout the house, Muffy has set up booby traps and pranks and gags for her friends just in time for that weekend's April Fool's Day.
Oh my God.
April Fool.
However, when some members of their group start going missing, and then dead bodies and severed heads show up, the situation becomes unnerving. With the phone lines dead and no way to get off the island until Monday, Kit, played by Amy Steele, and Rob, played by Ken Olent, begin to investigate.
It's not Muffy, it's her twin sister Buffy. She's got a twin sister. Rob, don't you see? Rob.
They soon discover that Muffy has an insane, violent twin sister named Buffy, who escaped from a mental institution.
Buffy, just stop now.
Now, for the big spoiler alert, the spoiler is that all of this is just an elaborate April Fool's Day prank. Muffy reveals that she hopes to turn the mansion into a resort offering a weekend of staged horror for guests. They all laugh and they have fun with each other. It's quite an odd way to end a 1980s slasher movie. This movie was directed by Fred Walton, who directed the 1979 classic When a Stranger Calls. It's not a bad film, and I've seen it 2 or 3 times, once around Y2K, once in 2023, and I think I caught it on cable in the late 2000s. However, I just never got into it.
Hey, Nan! Nan, what about it? Come on.
No, thanks. Besides, I thought I'd wait to see what Muffy wanted to do.
Like When a Stranger Calls, I just feel the pacing is too slow. The comedy element is interesting because it isn't spoofing horror movies, it's simply laughing at itself.
I found something in my room, too. Well, I don't think it was intended for me.
Oh, really?
Oh, fuck you, Chaz!
Deborah Foreman, known for her iconic lead role in 1983's Valley Girl, plays the rich college student Muffy very well. In fact, Fred Walton said she was cast in the film when she blew them away with her audition. I like her acting, and I think her crazy eyes with the butcher knife kinda look sexy. Thomas F. Wilson, known for his role as Biff in the iconic 1985 film Back to the Future, appears as a character named Arch. And despite taking place in New England, this movie was actually filmed on Vancouver Island in British Columbia. The characters of Nikki, played by Deborah Goodrich, and Chaz, played by Clayton Rohner, are probably my favorite ones in the movie. They have chemistry together, humor together, Deborah Goodrich is gorgeous, and Clayton Rohner, he's a cool-looking guy, and I think he's funny. He shows up in a lot of 1980s movies, and I actually think he's a really underrated actor.
What if the constable never even shows?
Then I'll swim all the way back to the mainland if I have to.
Okay, you relax.
Both Deborah Goodrich and Clayton Rohner appeared together the year before in the 1985 comedy film Just One of the Guys. Coming out the last weekend of March 1986, this movie was a hit. It made $13 million on a $5 million budget, and that's pretty damn good for a mid-80s horror movie. But again, Paramount sold it as horror when in actuality it's almost a mystery, clue, dark comedy type of film. Part of its following comes from the fact that because of its lack of extreme violence, it showed up on late-night cable quite a bit throughout the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, and that helped its following. Due to its popularity among 1980s horror fans and the good directing from Fred Walton, I will go ahead and give April Fool's Day 6 out of 10 stars.